Undergrunt Podcast Network.
I know I'm human.
And if you are all these things,
then you just attack me right now.
So some of you are still human.
this thing doesn't want to show itself.
It wants to hide inside an imitation.
It'll fight if it has to.
But if it's vulnerable out in the open,
If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies.
no one left to kill it.
And then it's won.
In a small little ship in the center of Mars was a sack of souls with experiment scars. When the second of the monk said, "I'll take two," and he put them in a rocket and he ate a lot of glue. And he shot them straight to Earth when they turned into babies. They were named Bob and Matt, and they rarely got rabies. And the monk made a movie of their whole entire lives. They were panoramic scenes and zooms of the thighs. One time Bob had sex with a ladle, and one time Matt lost a vet to a cradle, and another time Bob caught a dinosaur mom, and another time Matt bought a replica of Guam. And all this more is on a DVD set, only $20.99 with the purchase of a gem. But if you call right now and say, "Where's my whisk?" we'll include this bonus disc.
Hey! Welcome to Bonus Disc! I'm sorry, man. Welcome to Bonus
I
Disc.
love starting this show.
Supposedly the only podcast in the world that breaks down schlock movies scene by scene.
Yeah?
I don't know. I did not Google that, but I'm just assuming.
Look, the internet's just full of lies anyway. isn't it?
Yeah, right. So I'm just gonna tell that lie. I'm
Nothing on
Bob
the internet's
Rose.
real. We can say anything we want.
It's freedom, the Wild West. I'm co-host Bob Rose, and with me is co-host.
Matt PA, I don't know why you started making me force me to say my name. I don't like it.
Because you're a human that's always here. I'm gonna make you say your name all the time. And with us is local. What do you want to be known as? Local horror guru, filmmaker,
All of those things.
Jon Boushell.
Yes.
What are you? Doesn't matter. That's what you are. I'm saying it because the internet's full of lies and it doesn't matter. And we watched, to continue the action 4-pack from Shout Factory, we watched Eye of the Tiger.
Sorry, Gary Busey.
Sorry, Gary Busey,
Motherfucker.
produced by Scotty Brothers Records, which we will get to.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Right? I wish there was
Oh,
Weird
And
Al.
apparently James Brown. We didn't know. None of us knew.
They should just put Weird Al in the movie.
Right.
Right? That would have been great.
Right. Yeah, this movie's got Yaphet Kotto and Gary Busey and that guy. Well, I don't know his name, but he's in a lot of movies. The sheriff.
The guy.
I looked him up. He's in Conan the Barbarian.
Yep.
Yes.
He's the main Russian bad guy in Red Dawn. Like
He's in the movie The Crew
The Crew.
with Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah,
remember?
the like old
and Burt
man,
Reynolds, the old man.
like gangster crew that robs the casino.
It's like a
or something.
'90s comedy.
God, no, I didn't see that.
Okay,
Maybe-
it's fine.
I feel like
it's
I don't
fine.
need to.
No, you don't need to. Anyway, the movie starts out.
in utter silence.
It starts out like an art film.
Yeah.
Dude, it starts out like two men just paid to fuck themselves
Yeah,
in front of
and
people.
they're-
It was
they're-
very weird. I didn't understand. It was two guys putting on pants.
One guy grabs his dick.
Yeah, like
Close up of
make
shoes.
sure it's
Yeah,
Close
like,
up of shirts buttoning, pants zipping up,
Gary
grabbing their junk.
Gary
Utter
Busey's very
silence.
intricate belt.
belt.
Yeah,
he had a very fancy
Yeah,
belt.
it was like leather and had lots of metal on it as well.
And it's all silent. It's in this
Yeah.
like cell.
But they're in the, but you can tell they're all you see is crotch level, but you can tell they're in a big ass room and you see people like pacing around behind them and you're just like, what? Like,
Are we watching the aftermath of an orgy that
yeah,
just
like
happened?
you definitely feel like this is like a post-coital, like, all right, we did this. We don't need to talk about it.
We'll get to it, but it really feels like this scene is so significant because of how serious it is.
Yeah, I know.
It feels like this is the whole movie
Before the
being set
credits.
up. Right. For the credits. But there's no music.
No.
No. Scotty Brothers was like, no. Leave this be.
we're gonna hit them.
This is art.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it, and it's literally you get to see them grab their junk through their pants.
Yeah,
and then we get they cut outward, and it's Gary Busey and some other dude
with a huge scar on his face and neck.
He looks like an '80s movie action villain.
Yeah, he looks like the bad guy.
And
we all thought he was.
Yeah, that's what I originally thought, is that these two guys got in prison at the same time for like something that they did together,
and they
like,
hate each other or something.
But no,
Nope.
We don't really even know why. We don't know why they're there or whatever. Because I thought it'd be...
Dude, the plot of this is so, like, the backstories are so vague. It's
right.
awesome.
They spend more time on that other guy than they do Gary Busey in the first, like,
They kind of
10
do, yeah.
like, he gets
Yeah,
way more
like,
screen time.
Through everything we're going to talk about, he's pretty much silent. Gary Busey doesn't have a character,
No, he doesn't
really.
really say
He's
anything.
just Gary Busey.
I'm a good man.
Yeah, he's a good man.
I'm a good man.
But, so they're in the cell, and...
Gary Busey, like, collects his bag of shit.
Because the clerk at the jail pours out the bag with all their belongings.
Well,
And
that's what I didn't understand is that they poured out their bag with all their belongings, and then they got another bag of belongings too. Like, what? How much?
Yeah, I don't know
shit
what
did,
that was.
How much shit did he come into this prison with? Like,
Well, it was probably... Yeah, I don't know what the hell that other stuff was.
like,
Did you get
like,
to keep your, like
here's
jumpsuit
some
or, like,
steaks.
memories?
Jamie complains.
yeah, sorry.
Nice paper wrap steaks with twine wrap.
Omaha steak.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. That would be actually pretty
'cause
awesome when you get out of jail. They just like give you some steak. Like, you're
Thank
free
you.
again. Eat
Thank
some
you.
steak.
Didn't Jamie complain about the stuff that was in one of the bags? I remember him complaining, like, "Hey man, that's not what that's all I had." You know, he gave
Well,
like
he's
a certain.
just being a jackass.
Yeah,
he didn't
like,
stop
everything.
talking.
Yeah.
he
Well,
didn't
as soon
stop.
as Gary Busey left, then he started talking.
Then he
Yeah,
started
he's like-
talking.
like
right.
Gary
Throwing his
Busey like
middle-
walks out the door and then he goes, "Yeah,
Come on, man, open the door. I don't want to wait anymore."
give me my
and
stuff.
he gives him the middle finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "This is for you.
Yeah.
You can keep it." Fucking leaves, and we're like, "Wow." He seemed like the bad guy, but he
Yeah.
also seemed super
'Cause,
charming.
like at first, it seemed like he was kind of ribbing like Gary Busey, like
Because they were
to,
staring at
like
each other.
that,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
They were eye fucking each other like
And
crazy.
I feel like they don't release two prisoners at the same time,
like
they,
that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I feel like that's you're
Who knew each other so well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they stayed in the same cell, and one of them saved the other one's life
Yeah.
at
We'll
some point.
figure that out in a second.
We
but
will, yeah. Anyway, okay. So, whatever.
So when they walk out, it's Gary Busey like walking down a desert
road. He's like 5 miles away from the prison.
Yeah,
by
somehow
now.
he's ahead of the car.
Right. That
Yeah.
picked Jamie up, but Jamie's in like a top-down Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And he comes up
Drinking
and he's like-
champagne.
all right, so Gary Busey's name is Buck, but for this first scene, we thought this guy was the bad guy, so we thought he was like saying fuck.
Yeah,
Constantly keeps being like,
Hey,
come on,
fuck."
get in the car, Buck. And we're like, is he? What?
Is he calling him fuck?
You
Hey,
fuck, get in the car, you fuck.
But he wasn't saying yeah. He was
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
just saying
just
get in the
fuck.
car, fuck. And it's just Gary Busey like, no, that's all right. No.
That's when he says, he's
No.
like, but you saved my life.
Yeah,
Or
right.
something like that.
Gary
Or
Busey's
no, he
like,
doesn't say it yet. He says it later. when he
yeah,
drops
Gary
him off.
Busey's like Jar Jar Binks, and Jamie is Boss
What?
Nass, and he owes him a life debt. That's the
God,
Stop.
no.
Don't ever use that analogy again. It's terrible. Awful.
yeah.
But yeah, he eventually convinces him to get in the car with him. And at one point he goes, "I won't speak Spanish," which now makes a lot more sense later, but like what happens later?
Yeah, that was
'cause
a
that
weird
line
promise.
was
Like,
very
get in the car. I
strange.
promise I won't
I
speak
won't speak Spanish, I promise.
I promise I won't act foreign at all. You know? Like, yeah.
I thought that was, but
And then what is it that like actually convinces Gary Busey to even get in the car? Like
The fact that
I mean, he
has to
saved
walk.
this guy's life. He knew him.
I think he just
I
didn't
guess.
want to
I
walk
fe-
to home.
He
to
probably just didn't want to
hometown.
be like,
it's
this
like
guy's gonna make
he
me.
really warmed down, like really like would not take no for an answer. It's kind of troubling.
Maybe they did stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe all that homoeroticism in the opening was significant.
Man, prison's a lonely place.
I feel like this movie was edited to shit, so you don't know. Maybe they were lovers in prison.
If you just close your eyes.
You saved my
Don't.
life. You taught me what love is. You know? Like, I know how to feel.
God.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
And he comes home and he's got to tell his wife,
Yep.
like,
Yeah, well, I fell in love in prison.
Yeah,
Wait, we
sorry.
gotta get there.
Okay.
Okay.
My
So
bad.
so they get to the town,
right.
and they pull up in front of the
A
police
building.
doesn't
You
say-
did not
They don't
see what it
specify.
was.
No, not yet.
And he gets out of the car and he's like, "Come on, buddy, you gotta let me do something for you." And he's like, "No, just don't. Just stop.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Forget about it." He's like,
And
"I can't."
And then
And
he's
he
like,
looks all angry.
and he's like, if he says like if it wasn't for you, I'd be like talking out of my trachea or something. Like
Yeah,
he
he'd
says
be like,
something
I'd be
weird
talking
like
out
So
all
he
that.
must have been
the
trying
side
to. Somebody's trying stabbing him.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a
Slice-
huge scar, so I guess whatever Gary Busey stopped people from continuing to skin him alive or whatever the hell they were doing. He has that giant scar from his like forehead
Yeah.
to his chest.
Gary
like,
Busey put his face back on.
Yeah. Well, he starts to
Maybe.
get a little bit angry here. He's like,
Yeah.
"You're gonna let me live with this," like, and he started to think, okay, maybe he'll come back later as like a villain.
He does not,
Not
like,
only does
owe
he
people
not,
a favor.
but
Well, he's not totally gone yet because Gary Busey walks away from him. He goes in this building. You assume, I don't know what
it
assume.
is at first.
He walks in, it's the police station.
Station,
And he's
yeah.
like, I'm going to tell the sheriff I'm here.
And the sheriff is like laid out on the couch like
with his shirt open.
like a fucking
Dude,
centerfold.
it's
Like,
awesome. He looks like it's paint me like one of your French girls.
Yeah.
This is old man with a terrible mustache.
Wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt
That's
with his
open.
gut hanging over his belt. It's awesome.
Dude, he's holding his dick for that
Yes.
most of that scene.
It's 10 minutes in, and we've seen two old men move their junk on screen.
And this guy is played by the old Grip from Boogie Nights.
Right.
So just so you can get a picture of who this guy
no,
is.
John, he's from the crew.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's going to know what we're talking about when we say it's the guy from the crew. Don't you understand? Nobody's seen Boogie Nights. Everyone's seen the crew.
Yeah, and this guy apparently hates Gary Busey because this is
Yeah.
supposed to be an expository scene.
It
But I
isn't,
feel
though.
like
That
we
explains
don't
nothing.
get any information.
We didn't learn a damn thing.
No, I thought this is where he's gonna explain everything.
All we find out is that Gary Busey was in prison, which we already knew.
for
But this is
something.
a weird scene.
Well, he calls him a murderer.
He
Or a killer,
He
a killer.
says you killed somebody, or you went to prison for
But
murder. Nobody's gonna
as
want to
the
give you a
audience
job.
were like, okay, he killed someone, but he is a cop because he's in the police station talking to the sheriff right
no,
after.
but he's only talking to the sheriff because the sheriff is his parole officer. He's not a cop.
Dude,
he was never a
this
cop.
sheriff's department is like a one-stop
this
shop
yeah,
for
there's-
everything.
There's 5 people in it. We've seen the entire police force in this movie.
Okay, I
That's
got
why
it.
it's
I'm
awesome.
gonna
Circuit
admit
court,
something.
too, like-
I'm gonna admit something. I thought he was an ex-cop for some reason.
No, he was a foreman at a.
Really? Okay, I
for
knew
a
that. I
construction
just thought at some
company.
point he had also been a cop.
No, he was a
Because
Vietnam vet.
It seems like he had so much involvement in the local police and
His
like
friend,
he's best friends with.
Yeah.
It just what the fuck? How would he?
he wasn't a cop. He
It's
was
just,
not
don't
a
you
cop.
see how I can assume that
Yeah.
though? It's-
Yeah, because he knows like all
he-
the police.
It's like so intimate, and he's in that building. Everyone knows him. Is it because
Walks
he was a
right
criminal?
in.
That's-
Yeah,
I guess.
He does say later to that one guy, he's like, "You were there, you saw what happened." It's like, why were you guys hanging out? I thought you guys hated each other this whole time, like probably before then. Like, what?
Anyway, the scene with the crew guy, or
Boogie Nights.
the Boogie Nights crew, the
Boogie
Boogie
Nights.
crew guy. He's a good actor. We should know his name.
No, he's the dude from the crew. It's
We only
over.
find out, he killed someone. We don't
Yeah.
know how long he's been in prison at all. It's
no.
important for the next scene that
Yeah,
we
never
don't know
We also never
Don't know.
why
know.
he was in prison and how long. You kill
Or-
someone, you think
15 years.
at least, but
Or who he killed, why
Why
he killed,
them,
how he killed them,
With what?
where, like nothing.
honestly, thinking about the way this town is run, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, nobody wrote it down
yeah.
probably, so who the fuck
There's
knows?
no file.
It's,
Yeah,
everything
and
is
one
just
day they were just like,
hearsay.
"How long has he been here? Just let him out. Give him back his clothes. Whatever." He's you feel bad, right? This town is run like shit.
He
It
could have,
doesn't-
yeah, you're right. He could have murdered a guy like 3 days ago.
It's like, dude, if the whole movie was Gary Busey was only going for like a month, you know what I mean?
Oh my
Killing
god!
So he walks out of the prison and Jamie's still there, right?
Yeah, he's still sitting by a car, and he's like, Miami.
Miami.
He's trying to
He
tell
just
him to
says
come
Miami.
with him.
It's Miami.
He wants him to come
Yeah.
to work for him because he's like, I'll make you rich.
God, he should have listened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord,
Lord,
yes.
please
But
listen.
then he passes him a note,
Yeah.
and then Gary Busey hops in the car with Yaphet Kotto, and
Who
then-
works for the police department?
Yeah.
but
The
he's
no-
dressed like a
it's-
civilian
yeah,
the whole
he's
movie.
always
And they're
dressed
like,
in like a
buddy
sweatsuit.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like know each other really well. That's why I thought he was an ex-cop because
No.
I mean, it would make sense, but
I was listening. I just
thought they said it
figured,
in
why would he be so buddy with Yaphet
There's
Kotto?
barely any dialogue in this movie. They give you very little.
They don't tell you anything.
They give you very little to work with. Have we seen the motorcycle gang yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
they drove through the town.
Yeah.
That's
A
all
bunch
that
of
happened.
helmeted bikers in a group drove through a town.
It's
That's
like
all. There's
yeah.
no more information.
It's like a 5-second scene, and you see
Yeah.
a bunch of old people looking at them ominously. Like,
that's it. We're not leaving things out.
Yeah,
that was
That's
it.
the amount of information we have. Okay, and then
Yaphet Kotto asks what is
was-
on the note.
and it's like an envelope, a shitty envelope
Yeah.
that has anytime, anywhere, then a number.
Anything.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Well, what's hilarious is that, like, instead of Gary Busey being like, oh, no, it's a bunch of bullshit, like, he's like, tells him exactly every single thing that's on the note. Like,
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
He doesn't lie. He's not gonna take this bullshit.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
All right.
He did his
His
time.
friend
man.
asked him what it said, and he told him.
His best friend from the police department.
Yeah.
This murderer's best friend,
Who
who
works
is a
in-
cop. Don't tell us why. At
Don't
all. That's
explain
amazing.
anything.
So
bullshit.
Yaphet Kotto drives him home to because this town
his home, yeah.
because Gary Busey loves this town. They established that at some point that this is
Like,
his
this is my
hometown.
home.
This is where
Yeah,
he
'cause,
wants
like,
to be.
The sheriff was like, "You're gonna get the hell out of here."
Yeah, right.
And he's like, "I'm not going anywhere. This is my
I'm
home."
going to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's like, no one will hire you and all that other bullshit.
Right,
but,
right.
But then he also stops in the general store across
Oh
the
yes, he
street
stops at the gift shop.
and gets some,
Gets Christmas presents.
yeah, general store, gift shop, whatever it is.
I will
on
take
this, like,
one present for a girl and one for a lady.
No, I saw the window. The window said gift shop.
By the way, this town center has like 3 buildings, and
There's
that's it.
250 people in this town.
Probably.
Maybe less.
If that, and
Enough. There's a bingo hall's worth of humans in this town.
Yes,
That's
he barely got.
we'll get there, but that's how many
there's
people
like,
are in it.
There's like 250 people in this zip code, and probably about half of them are roving biker gangs.
Yeah,
Like-
no, seriously. Yeah. Like
That's
I almost wouldn't even say that the biker gang's probably made up of most of their children.
Well,
It would have to
I
be.
mean, who
right?
else are they?
Yeah.
They're just
that sheriff.
Where did they come from?
That sheriff got voted in the office because he got the majority of the vote because the fucking biker gang is half the fucking town.
they still have the right to vote.
Yeah. Hey, man.
I might live in a camp in the
Oh, wait,
desert.
we don't
but I
know
still
what's
have a
happening
right.
yet. We'll get to it. John, we'll get to it as kind of our motto.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. He's
drives him
got
over
the
to his
presents.
house.
Yaphet Kotto drives him up to the shack that is his home. He gets out of the car and there's a child who runs up, Daddy.
I love you. We have an established
A relationship.
relationship.
She recognizes him and loves him.
How old would you say she is?
She looks like she's probably about like 6,
6, 7, 8
Yeah.
at most.
Okay.
8 at most.
Oh,
So-
and nice anecdote about this young girl.
Oh god, this
Oh yeah, John, please.
this poor girl. She was a Judith Barcy, I
Don't
think her
laugh.
name was.
What are you laughing at?
Sorry, stop.
She was a really popular child actress. She's in Jaws: The Return. That was the Revenge. I'm sorry, Jaws: The
I was
Revenge.
gonna say, there's a Jaws: The Return.
Yeah, she's the Brody kid's daughter in Jaws: The Revenge. That's the last movie she was in before her psychotic father shot and killed both her and her mother, and then set them on fire, and like killed himself. Like awful story. Thanks for
That's really
yeah.
Well,
And he's cracking up. Now
It's
I
an
am.
It's just
emotional
insane.
response.
It's just insane. All right.
Yeah.
it's not, and this movie doesn't help it be better at all. Like, I don't feel like this is a great role for her or anything
She doesn't have much to work
do,
with.
and
No,
her,
she doesn't do shit.
her
No,
storyline
yeah.
in this movie is pretty sad. Anyway,
Half the movie, yeah. Okay.
so what we were saying is she. Thank you for saying that, John.
You're
she
welcome.
Great story. Thank you.
great story. She runs up. She knows who he is. They have established relationship. That means if she's at most 8. I'm not going to go any higher than 8.
Uh-huh.
Even I think that's pushing it, honestly.
Okay, yeah.
That means that he would have to have known her to establish a relationship up till about 3, right?
Yeah.
And then he kills somebody and goes to jail.
I guess, do you go to jail for 5 years for murder? I mean, it was the 80s. Who knows?
I mean, we don't.
It's the 80s.
He wasn't a drug dealer. It's fine.
He was a white man.
He just murdered another
He's
white
white.
man.
Just let him out. It's fine.
Jesus.
But dude, come on. I mean,
No, yeah.
how long was he in prison?
We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Is
we don't
that
know anything.
The kid's relationship with him is telling that he was not there that long. She was born. They established a relationship. He went away from murdering somebody for like a year or two.
I hate how big this movie is.
Yeah.
It's kind of
We
insane.
never
I
find
feel
it
like
out
this
either.
is probably like a 3-hour epic, and they're like, we gotta
Cut this
Yeah.
down.
That's why all
90
that
minutes.
stuff
It,
happens
it
off
used to
screen.
open with him murdering somebody
Yeah.
and then go to court and everything. And they just cut that all out. Scotty Bros is like, as long as James Brown is in there, it doesn't matter.
Like, did
Cut
he
it out.
murder someone who was killing Jamie earlier?
But that happened in prison. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you
All
can
right, yeah,
still
you're right.
get new sentences in prison for
That's
killing
true.
people.
No,
It's not-
but
then
then
you-
he murdered 2 people and he still got out that early. All right,
Yeah,
never
like-
mind.
this guy,
Never mind,
this guy
never
should be
mind.
locked away for like 20 years at the minimum.
maybe they're not the problem. He is. So he gives the daughter the gift, and then he sees his wife walk out. This is not an interesting scene whatsoever.
Not
they
at all.
they kiss. He's glad that they're home.
The most remarkable thing in this scene is that little girl leaves all that trash right outside by the
Damn.
side of the road.
Yeah.
What a litter bug.
She unwraps her present and just leaves it right there. Unbelievable.
Fucking kids.
Karma, man.
Terrible.
It's a bitch.
Oh,
Sorry.
God damn.
I'm saying, come on, it's set up. It's set up.
Dude, he did it before I did. It's fine.
It's terrible. Anyway,
Well, those bikers were just with Greenpeace.
right. What comes after this scene is that
This is where he goes to his job, right?
yeah, because
Because, dude,
the time differentiation is
there's the transitions between scenes. It's like, has it been a day? Has it been 12 hours? Has it been 5 minutes? I felt like every time we saw the wife, she had just taken a shower
or just woke up.
or just woke up.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's always in a robe or like an
Wet.
oversized button-up shirt. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Well, she
wet.
lives in a house
So
that
wet.
looks like it's made of paper mache. She's probably just worried all the time that the wind will knock it over.
She has to keep applying moisture to her house. So-
Gotta keep these walls wet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he goes to see because he wants his foreman job back,
Right.
and then and
But he's so fucking humble. His
no,
wife's
because
like,
his wife is like, yeah, they're not going to listen to an ex-con.
they're not
Yeah.
gonna
Like,
let you
and
be a
the-
foreman. He's like, it's fine. I have to start at the beginning. It's what they have to do. It's fine. And she's like, but it's screwed up. And he's like, no, it's fine.
And they say
He's not a person. It's so weird.
His
Until-
wife is barely.
Well,
Nobody's a person
What I
in his
understand
family.
is that he says that he's starting tomorrow night, but then he's working during the daytime. He has his lunch during the daytime.
He took his lunch. He eats as soon as he got there.
Yeah.
yeah,
which
he
said-
like arrives and then has coffee.
Yeah, he's like,
He-
I'm gonna take a walk.
Yeah, he gets to the top of the building is getting built and then walks around like a complete jackass, like overstepping, like, good to be back on the
He
job.
does a little Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
It's,
King of the World.
King of the World up there.
Then he sits down and starts eating his
Like
lunch
at this point in the
instantly.
movie, if you took that one snippet of the biker gang driving through town out of the way, this would just be a guy getting paroled from prison.
And getting his life back.
You would have
together.
no clue it's an action movie at this point. It would just be like a movie about a hard American worker and what the struggles of living a paroled life.
Had there been another shot of the biker gang driving around again?
I
yet?
think, dude, there might have.
Like another 2 second. Like,
It might
hey,
have been
these
that
guys
there
are
was
still
there
here.
was like a shot, like a night
Oh,
shot
there was,
of
because-
them just driving over the road.
and more old people looking at them.
Yeah, the only thing we know
Like,
that
there
they're
goes
evil is because
neighborhood.
there's old people like, oh, they're here.
Yeah.
There's no music playing.
None.
It's just whatever.
This movie's weird,
It's
man.
tonally it is all over the place. It's almost art just for how tonally it's messed up.
We're
Yeah.
about to get to where shit gets real, though.
Okay.
That night.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
See, he goes to work.
He's
And
in
then-
like an office.
And we're
He's-
shown.
Yeah.
He goes to work.
Oh, it
He's-
shows the
shows the hospital.
hospital. The
Some woman is working at the hospital. She's getting ready to leave.
She's clocking out.
Right. Someone we don't know.
She gets in her car. That's when you see the bikers again.
Yeah, the bikers, like, ride by.
She pulls out.
Yeah.
Then
And
they
immediately make a U-turn
Yeah.
and are right
No,
behind
and
her.
start circling her car
Yeah.
essentially, and then we cut away from that.
And then
It's important to talk about the cuts in this movie
You don't
because
get to
things
see
happen
shit.
off screen. Mega
They
big
yeah,
in
they
this
really
movie.
leave it to you to fill in the gaps.
Right. Because then we cut to Gary Busey. He's on site doing something.
In the supervisor's hut.
Office.
It's
Yeah.
dark outside.
Yeah.
It is now
it is now
nighttime.
dark.
I feel like it was like
maybe
It was like 5 o'clock, sunlight.
Like it seemed like him and his wife were waking up, and he was getting ready to go to work in the morning. But then it
when
was
she's
nighttime, and he's still
wait,
24-hour shift.
When she's pulling out of the hospital, it's still like evening.
Yeah.
Then we cut right to him, and it's like a night shot. And he hears a woman scream, and he runs.
And first he hears a car horn a bunch,
right?
Yeah.
And then he hears a woman scream.
He's like, I obviously have to do something.
But what I'm
He
saying
hops in
is,
his truck.
the amount of time from them circling her
Then
car,
he wields like a broadsword.
but the amount of time from them like circling her car to him getting to them attacking her, it seems like it's like a 2-hour time period, like day wise.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like pitch black outside when he attacks, when he like saves
He
her.
goes to save her. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he gets in his car and he wields which he wields like a broadsword.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
There's this woman. She gets like they show her like smash her car and drag her out, and then
They're fully ready to.
yeah, they're about to rape her. Where, like, right by a construction site.
Yeah, they went to some, like, random, like, it was like a junkyard or something, like, construction site, junkyard.
Well, it was near where he was. Like, he heard it happening,
Yeah.
so it had to have been near the building he was at.
Yeah, and this guy with a beard and scraggly hair is about
He looked
to
like
rape-
Ogre from
Yeah, he
Revenge of the
was
Nerds
like
movies.
the evil version of Ogre. Like,
Who actually has more characterization somehow than a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Ogre when he got fucking kicked out of college for
Yeah.
fucking beating up nerds.
Yeah. It's true.
That's what happened to him.
never mind.
Yeah, no, don't go there. Okay.
I know he's in more of the movies. It's
Yeah. Yeah. So Gary Busey doesn't like. You would think he would pull up to the
And be
situation.
like, what's going
What
on?
the fuck? Let her go. No, he just does a jump with this
He
car.
launches the damn truck, the
Yeah.
hood flies off.
And he
It's
just
fucking nuts.
just starts wielding it like.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
rushing people off the
He
road,
is-
like bumping people.
Sir,
and then
he's-
like, dude, it's amazing. It's like it's a lion. It's like like him inside of a truck
He's, like,
is like
growling.
a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the car's like growling, and the girl's laying on the ground, and the guy with the shotgun is pointing him at the truck, and he keeps like revving it, like he can leap over this woman in front of him.
It's awesome.
Dude, for all we know,
Dude,
he probably could
it
have.
is. It's like he's in a Megazord, or like he thinks he's in a Megazord, and he's just like, I'm
Like he could
protecting
do a
this thing.
flip upward.
You just leap over the woman I'm protecting and attack you with my truck.
It's a
form.
very weird threat.
Yeah. It's like he would have to run her over.
My thought was that he like knew the exact height of the truck was just above her, and then he could run over her without killing her.
But you know what? It works.
It does.
work.
The intimidation
Scares
works.
Whoa,
Yeah.
but first.
Oh, the
first.
bad guy.
But first,
The-
another bike like rides up on a hill, and they both like he's like Buck sees the like shotgun guy look at this guy on the top of the hill, and it's just like
And all the
It's just
bikers
this
are in
guy.
all the bikers are in olive green.
yeah, this
But
guy's in
in
all black.
Yeah, so you
he
know
takes
he
his
means
helmet
business.
off,
And he's
it's
bald.
He's a bald. We don't see.
So we don't see the back
whole
of his head
Yeah.
yet,
But he's
so
wearing an
good.
earring. He's got a scarf and
Yeah.
like gold chains.
Isn't it
and
like
he's
an
bald.
upside down cross earring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like Rob Halford,
kind of,
kind
yeah.
of. Yeah,
I guess.
and it's just a staring, like
Yeah, he just stares while he
it
revs
revs
his
the
engine.
engine.
Like that's well, and his real voice isn't that much different from
No,
like
from a
that.
revving
We haven't
engine.
heard it though yet. We don't hear it for a while.
No.
Dude, his voice and this rest of his head are like awesome.
So
Does
yeah,
anybody ever say his name? I don't think they
No.
did. But
No.
his,
I
hope his
his
name is-
name's Blade, according to the credits.
I hope Buck's last name is Tiger.
It's Matthews.
Damn it, right?
Like, why is it called Eye of the Tiger?
Like people, that's nothing. People can't
Buck
make up their
Tiger
mind
would
whether
be
they
a-
want to call him Matthews.
But Buck
or Buck,
Tiger,
yeah.
Buck Tiger would be.
That's right, his name is Matthews. Fuck.
He's his two animal names. Buck Tiger would be amazing. All right, so the rapist brother, we don't know his brother yet.
Oh,
The
yeah.
rapist guy like realizes that it's over and he
It's time
runs
to
away.
go.
And they retreat. And he takes the woman, puts her in the car that looks like it's about
it to explode.
It's got,
shooting
like,
steam
yeah.
out of it.
There's no hood. Most of the fenders are gone.
Right,
But he takes her to the hospital.
right, and
Where
then
the sheriff's waiting for him.
Yeah, and the sheriff's like, "You fucked up. You're on parole. I should arrest you right now." And he's like, "But I saved somebody."
Yeah, like we don't know like what exactly.
I love
like,
that they're so mad at him.
Yeah, like what
A woman-
grounds is he gonna arrest? Like, what is he gonna say that he did wrong?
Is that breaking parole? You can't. He's like this vigilante shit. He was there. It's not.
Yeah, he just.
It was happening. Like if something's happening
happening
next to you, it's not like you're a vigilante. Batman just doesn't just do his job. Doesn't go to
Wherever he is.
work and wait for crime to happen next to him.
No, he goes out like
Looking for
Yeah.
it. Gary Busey was just doing his job and he heard a woman scream.
Yeah.
like
He stopped a woman from getting brutally raped and murdered by a
In public.
biker gang.
yeah, right.
But he's like, I should put you behind bars, you sick bastard.
Dude, this sheriff sucks.
It's so great. So yeah, then that's
I believe then he leaves.
it's in the morning again, and that's when they bring him home, right? And then they're all
Yeah, and he
the
comes
camera
home,
crew and
yeah,
everybody.
like, everyone's there. Like there are people handing him beers, and he's like, "What's everyone
Yeah,
doing?"
he gets out of the car. Yaphet Kotto's driving.
Yeah,
He gets out of the car, and somebody just hands him a Coors Light right away. Then he goes and stands next to his wife.
well, I
and,
like he's like, "What's going on here? What's everyone doing here?" Like, what the fuck do you think everyone's here for? Because you like launched a truck over, and
You fought a biker gang
Yeah.
with a car.
word travels fast in this like 150 person town.
But he's super humble, and he's just like, I just did what I needed to do, or whatever. Please leave me alone. And then this motherfucking news lady, it cuts to the biker gang watching the news broadcast, and she goes, reporting live from Buck Matthews' home on Longshore Road, and we all three of us were like, why would you say something like that on TV? Like they're not gonna try to kill him for that.
And then evil.
This is where he
Urger-
lives. Here, get a nice wide shot of the house, Jimmy.
I don't know about you, but I would think that if there was law enforcement that was halfway competent, they would be like, "You can't go home."
Yeah.
That's because these guys, like the sheriff, doesn't give a shit about him.
I know.
dude.
Well, the sheriff is crooked, but we don't know that yet. But even Yaphet Kotto would be like, "I'm not going to let you and your wife and your kids stay at this house."
Hey, as Yaphet Kotto says many times in this movie, he wants to stay out of it. He doesn't want to get involved. Although he
Man, he really
obvious-
fucking gets involved. Though.
Yeah, he very
he
obviously
seriously gets
he
involved.
does want to get involved.
Yeah, he
I mean,
really wants to get involved. Yeah, so
I think at this
Gary
point,
Gary Busey's character does this. He knows the news camera's there, and then goes inside with his wife and kid to his house, which is now public
nothing's wrong.
knowledge. It's insane. Why would you do that? A roving gang of murder rapists. You just piss off.
that's when Yaphet Kotto. No, Yaphet Kotto's not there when he gets home, because he shows up afterwards, and they have a beer, and that's when he's like, "They're gonna kill you, people." You understand,
Yeah,
right?
he's like, they're gonna come after you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and I don't want to
you-
be involved.
And
I really
Yeah.
don't
I
want to
just
be.
want to let you know that you're gonna die, and I'm not gonna do anything about
I'm
it.
out of here.
Peace.
What-
And he just fucking leaves.
That
He takes like
advice
2
is-
sips of a beer, says that, and dips.
And then it's like hard cut to Gary Busey cleaning off his gun.
This is important though, because he's cleaning off his gun. The wife is in a robe. It looks like she just woke up, and it's morning.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" You know, she's like having this conversation with him, and it's like, "Okay, it's morning, right?"
Yeah, and she's like, "We got to get out of here. I want to leave." And he's like, "But we got to stay and fight. This is my home." And then she starts crying, and he's like, "All right, pack some shit." This scene makes no sense. He
It
goes,
doesn't.
He goes, "No, now go do it now. Pack some stuff
Yeah, because he talks about the cold feeling that he gets
before something terrible
Yeah,
happens."
he's like, I felt it in prison and I felt it in Vietnam. This is where we find out that he was
He's in Vietnam.
Yep.
That's why I assumed he was a cop too, because you know how like in action movies, that
Now, dude, no
cops were always ex-marines.
no
and-
protagonist in an 80s movie that was in the Vietnam War ends up in, having a good life.
No,
Ever.
yeah,
Except for the
except
dad
you're
in
a
House.
cop, and then being a cop ruins your life. That's
Yeah.
like what happens. The fact that he wasn't a cop is baffling to me. But like, yeah, okay, so that was the morning when he said all that to his wife.
Right.
Something
So you
bad's
would've
gonna happen.
presumed that they-
Pack your shit. We're leaving.
Immediately, right?
Yes.
Then it cuts to nighttime shots of the biker gang doing something.
They show up.
and it reveals that they're outside of their home, and they're all just like fucking off in the house.
Yeah,
Not
no.
doing anything.
Gary Busey's like in the kitchen, like having a beer. What?
You said pack some shit. You're still here.
No one says pack your shit, and then you
With
wait
a holding
8
a
hours.
shotgun, pack up everything you can, and then you take
Like,
a nap. Like, what are you doing?
A guy just told you that people are gonna come and kill you,
And your wife
family.
and daughter.
yeah, and you're sitting there like making sure your gun's ready. Like, why are you taking so long?
8 hours later, they show up. Whoa!
Oh, what a surprise! Like, really caught us with our pants down.
Oh god! And then this whole scene is such a
I love it. So this is
clusterfuck.
this is why the house looked like bullshit.
Yeah, oh,
because
man.
motorcycles just start bursting through
Yeah.
everything. Like Gary Busey's back against the wall with a shotgun, and he's like shooting him. Like, oh, okay, yeah. Then a motorcycle just bursts through the wall
Yeah,
right
like comes
next
out of
to
his
him.
daughter's room, basically.
And it's like the house is made of rice cakes.
It's so good,
It's
man.
awesome.
There's so many holes blasted through this house. It's awesome.
And we can't really tell what's happening.
No.
All we can see is the wife gets cornered.
She's in the
She's
hallway.
like screaming for her husband.
She just keeps
yeah,
going, "Fuck!
yeah, all she she's just pinned against the wall and just screaming. Nothing's really happening to her.
No, the
No.
bikers are just
Yeah.
stationary.
And yeah, and you
She's
see,
not being like manhandled
no,
or
no one's
anything.
touching
and the daughter's like just screaming and stuff. Like
While
nothing.
Gary Busey's getting tossed around.
Yeah,
in the,
Gary
They're
Busey's
kicking the
having
shit out of him.
yeah,
They're hitting
like,
him with bats and stuff.
like you'd think that he's getting the worst of it, and this is just like a warning or something.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of is. But
then it, for better or worse, just cuts.
Well, it cuts. The last scene is of the mother laying on the ground with her eyes open,
you don't know.
fully clothed with no blood on her.
The daughter has
the
a.
and
the
the daughter
daughter's-
has a bloody nose.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there staring at her mom.
And we were
What
like, is she
happened?
dead? What the fuck
We
did they
at
do?
this point too, we don't know what happened to Gary Busey.
Dude, did they just rev their engines and kill her with carbon monoxide poisoning in that hallway?
Yeah,
This is what you get for littering. Here's
You
some
fucking bitch.
their black helmets
greenhouse
were
emissions.
their evil black helmets were actually gas masks.
Yeah. They have rebreathers
Well,
in them.
and
Right,
then-
yeah,
Well, yeah, then
it's like a second episode 1 reference. Right? Go ahead.
then it just
Damn it.
it fades to Gary Busey sitting in like a church pew that's just in the hallway of this hospital. I guess
And
they're-
we're all like, I remember we were all like, is she dead or
Yeah.
dying? What is happening?
he's in like hospital pants and has like those hospital slippers on, and you don't know what's happening.
And then the Reverend comes up and
And
he's
he
like,
says a line
praying-
that should tell you if his wife is dead or not, and it's still too
yeah,
vague.
he's like, I'm gonna pray for your wife's soul.
no, he
and
says,
he says, are you praying for your wife?
He
Oh,
says,
yeah,
well,
are
he says, well, you aren't praying for your wife's soul.
And then he looks
All three
at
of
him.
us have a different interpretation of the scene, apparently, but it doesn't
I-
matter because it's
Yeah, it
confusing
really
as
doesn't.
fuck.
I thought he was like asking him what he was praying about because he was like insinuating like, what are you praying about? You're not praying for your wife's soul. What are you praying for?
Yeah,
Right?
I thought that he was saying. I thought he said that we are praying for like, and that like him and
Catholics pray after
Him-
people die, so
well, I mean,
For-
Like I thought it was like
So-
we're not praying for your because she's dead, or
I definitely
because she's not dead. Like we're not
mean,
praying
I-
for his soul to go somewhere.
I definitely got the implication that she was dead by that point. Since I mean, they weren't praying for like her life or anything; they were praying for her soul.
Okay,
but-
maybe that's what I meant.
That's not what.
either way,
not what Buck was praying for.
No,
then
He's praying
he
for
has a conversation with the Reverend, and then
vengeance.
he goes
He
to visit his
looks-
daughter in the room, right?
dude, he tells a random preacher that he's praying
Yeah,
for
he's like,
vengeance.
I'm praying for vengeance,
right.
Father.
Like, I don't know. Like they don't establish that they ever met before,
No,
and
he
he
just
just
pops
looks up.
We
and he
know
goes,
so little
I'm praying
about
for
Gary
vengeance.
Busey's character that should be shocking. Is that shocking that he would do that?
This priest.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is he a vengeful guy? I don't know who he
He's
killed.
clearly killed people.
This priest is like that guy that just appears in the third act of The Room at the party and is suddenly a main character.
Yes.
Like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
his other
he's in
scene
the
is
rest of the
insane.
movie. Yeah, like it's like what the fuck are you doing here?
No one needs you to scream these things.
Also, he's like a hospital priest, not
Yeah.
at church.
No.
He's a hospital guy, like the chaplain at a hospital, which he seems almost close to him.
But they
guess-
couldn't.
How
have met.
much time did this man spend in a hospital and a police station before he went to jail?
Who knows?
It doesn't matter. Anyway, he goes to see his daughter, right?
Yeah, his daughter's still alive.
But she's
So-
like
But this-
catatonic.
The catatonic isn't confirmed here. She's kind of sleeping in this scene.
Her eyes are wide open.
Now you're thinking of the second time we see her.
Every time you see her,
Or
her
she's
eyes
getting
are
the
like
muscles.
plastered.
Must
open.
see, right. So
I-
he's talking to his daughter, and then he looks up, and there's the nurse with the black eye
That he saved.
Yeah.
saved, and then she kind of has the guilty moment, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, if you didn't save me, your daughter wouldn't be here, and your wife would be dead. I'm sorry."
And he
I'll
like
leave now.
shrugs.
He was just like
He like goes,
Dude,
oh.
I feel like Gary Busey didn't. He just
what I
he
get.
does not mourn his wife's death that much.
Yeah, dude.
It just feels like he's like, I'm kind of mad about it.
well, he's already moved on to the next step. of it,
Yeah,
which
like
is
killing now.
He's on to vengeance.
Yeah, this is the 80s. man.
Yeah, you just who the fuck do I have to kill
Yeah.
to get this even? Okay. Then
He leaves the room and somehow in his hospital pajamas,
He has Jamie's number.
yeah, Jamie's,
So he calls fucking Jamie. He's like, I'm hurting bad, brother.
yeah.
And then we're all like, fuck yeah, Jamie's going to be back. Return of Jamie, the
one
fun character,
the fun, awesome guy that I really
that-
wanted to come back.
the emotive character who
Yeah.
talks a lot. As opposed to all these people who just stare at each
The
other all
one guy
fucking
where
day.
you have like a clear indication of like what kind of person he is.
Let me put this here too: is you set it up where you got this character, you set it up really hard in that beginning, and you set it up the fact that he owes him his life. Now, when he says you owe him anything, and this is a life or death
Yeah.
struggle, you think this guy's gonna fight side by side with him and risk his well-being to save.
Right.
No.
Unbelievable.
No.
Yeah, really
Now-
weird.
That's such a weird choice not to bring him back.
He
It
was a
had to
great
be like
character.
it had to be some reason like he couldn't do it or something. I don't know.
No, I think
No, they had to have that all. Anyway.
after that isn't there's another scene where Yaphet
But
Kotto's-
don't move forward too much.
I didn't.
Well, he calls him, and then that's when
And then does he immediately go to the house?
I think it's the funeral. Is
Yeah,
the
no, it
first
cuts to the
thing.
funeral.
Yeah, funeral.
Because we were
I think
kind
the
of, we were all
funeral
kind of
was
like
absolutely-
unsure if his wife was kind of really dead yet. Like we still hadn't really
Yeah,
confirmed it
like it's-
until it hits the funeral. We're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Okay,
he's
she's
dead.
dead.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Now we know. There's nothing confirmed it until now.
and,
so
and everybody's at this funeral. You know,
the town is at
yeah,
this funeral.
hospital
Yeah,
priest,
yeah.
the nurse, Yaphet Kotto.
Everybody. And guess what happens? Guess who shows up?
Biker gang
They
shows up at the fucking funeral like dicks, man. It's
Yeah.
a dick move.
Well, they just do a drive-by. They
Yeah.
do a drive, not shoot. They just drive by.
They just roll up. The guy stares at him
Yeah,
with his
yeah.
bald
Blade,
head.
Blade
again.
does his revving again.
Do we see this back of his head yet?
No,
No.
because they're
You're right. God damn it.
It's just the front of his head.
It's like sad that the biggest reveal in this movie is the back of his
of
head.
somebody's head.
It's like
but
the most fun thing happens.
They just do a
really.
stare off and then they go away.
But
And-
the sheriff
yeah,
like smiles about
yeah.
it.
The sheriff like kind of giggles.
He lets it happen too. He
Yeah.
doesn't like stop them
He's
or
not
say.
like, this is a fucking funeral gentleman.
Which
has
I'm
the
kind
decor.
of surprised that no one else is like of the sheriff. Like, why? What are you doing? Why don't you say something?
I mean, at this point,
tell them to leave.
this
Yeah.
sheriff
Wh-
is treating these bikers basically like the 12 o'clock boys. Like, just they're not doing anything. Like,
But the way
just
he
letting it
smiled,
happen.
it almost I thought he was gonna be like their boss. I thought like he
That's
was
the
gonna be
big the big reveal where like he's like
It was me all along. I put you in prison because I knew you'd stop me from like taking over the whole county.
he just rips off his face and it's Blade under there somehow and both like, there's
That would
no
have been awesome.
Or he turns out to be Blade's father.
Oh, that would have been cool too.
They're like the same age.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Older brother.
Yeah, older brother. Older brother would be fine.
I mean that would have been cool if it would have been like the oldest brother's the sheriff of the town, and the two younger brothers are like in this biker gang, and they.
But
just
instead,
run
everything is
shit.
really like the reasons that no one attacks the sheriff are stupid. Like we hear from Yaphet Kotto. I think we already heard. Do we skip that where he says like the sheriff is just worried you're gonna impinge on his turf. He's jealous of you for.
Yeah, he was like, you came back from the war with all those medals, and
Yeah, 'cause
everybody
it's-
thought you were a hero,
yeah,
and he
it's-
thought he was going to replace him as sheriff for some reason.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Why wouldn't
So
I
he,
think
like,
this dude was a cop?
So he somehow set him up to go to murder.
Why
for
would a foreman on a
for
construction
murder?
site
But-
be in
well,
danger
that's
of
what I'm
taking the job of a sheriff?
the
You know
Vietnam.
what I'm saying?
The Vietnam War ended in the early 70s, so like, and by the time Gary Busey goes to jail, it's got to be like the early 80s. If he hadn't tried to take his job by that point, why?
Why
would
would
he-
you assume that the sheriff's motivated still by the fear that Gary Busey is going to
Yeah,
take his job?
like 10 years later after.
That's what I'm saying. Like Yaphet Kotto's reasoning is so loose. It's just like, oh well, he just hates you because he's jealous.
Every
But-
decision Yaphet Kotto makes in this movie is contradictory.
It's
Yes.
really
'Cause-
confusing. Yeah.
I love it. There's some point, I forget, it was probably near the end of the movie, he tells him not to do something, and then he does it immediately, and then he smiles about it. And I was like, dude, you have no idea what you want. Like, you
Make up your fucking mind.
you live on that fence.
They go back to the house after that. Gary Busey and Yaphet Kotto, right? And
that's when it's like, he's like, I can't let you stay here. Look at this place, because it's just got like holes.
Yeah,
in the
Dude,
wall
it's a
and
pavilion.
everything.
Yeah, it's a
It's a pavilion at that point.
it's a fucking shell.
There's just roof supports.
And then
It looks like an outhouse that if you built it into a mansion. That's what it looked like.
And Yaphet Kotto once again says that he wants no part of it. He doesn't want to be involved. And then he leaves, right?
Just leaves him there.
Yeah, just leave.
Gary Busey's like, good. This is my life then.
Well, I guess.
And then he
sleeps
But
there.
that's
Yeah,
when
he sleeps.
he
He goes back to the hospital after that, right? To visit.
No, when he goes to sleep, that's when it cuts to like a daytime shot of
And
the
the-
huge truck, and it was playing that like awesome like victory music, and we were all like, "Why is this truck so cool?" It was like an 18.
Oh, yeah, it was
and
like-
it was playing like. And we were like, "What the hell is happening?"
It was
The 18-wheel circus arrives to town.
It was Jamie's delivery.
Yeah,
Not
was
Jamie.
not Jamie.
Not Jamie.
Jamie is not here.
What
Yeah,
a
some
fucking bummer.
That's such a
random
bummer.
guy shows up at his door and is like, "Hey, I'm a friend of like James."
Yeah, he
or
walks out
whatever."
with a shotgun.
It's a Hispanic guy like
Yeah.
Jamie. And he thinks it's another attack, but it's not. And then he opens the back of that fucking giant truck, and they roll out
a
the
Dodge
new
Ram
Yeah.
1500
A black-
or something.
armored Dodge Ram, which inside the
Has
cockpit
all these buttons and
So
shit.
many
looks
buttons.
like Kit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I got so excited right then, like no lie, like I perked up a lot, and then dashed hopes.
and
into
then
it.
they-
Like,
Yeah, what did you think was gonna
I
happen?
don't know. I thought it was gonna be like Kid, or he had all these buttons,
And then-
something.
and then they
That it
put-
would go nuts.
They
after
push out a
that.
box after that just says like garbage trash on it. And
Yeah.
it's never really confirmed what's
in
there.
that box. Yeah. I
But
think he was
I'm
saying
assuming it was bombs. And
No, he
stuff,
was
'cause
no,
it
he was
blows
saying
all
that.
Oh,
She's
he
like,
did say that?
yeah, it was basically artillery.
I was still
He
just
goes,
munitions.
there's also more. He doesn't say what it is.
too
He goes-
amazed at the
He's just like, your
fucking
friend,
truck.
you have a very good friend. That's all he says.
Yeah.
He's like, you have a very good friend.
So now Gary Busey has a tank truck.
Mm-hmm. And what does he do first with it?
Goes to the hospital. I'm telling you that
What hospital
And-
is it?
it's the one where it's confirmed that the girl is completely catatonic. Where
with
he's
yeah.
where he's trying.
stretching.
Right, he's trying to talk he's opening the present for her, and he got her a new when they raided the house, they broke the present,
right.
the little ballerina that he got her. So this is the second time he gave her a ballerina, and she can't open it because she's catatonic.
So
Yeah,
Remember?
it's
So, and then
And,
yeah.
oh, look at the ballerina!
Look
She
at
doesn't
it.
respond at all.
Oh.
And then he has the conversation with the nurse that he saved because she's helping. She's like moving her legs and everything. Remember? I forget what
And
they
then-
talk
and then-
about.
and then
he
his-
drives her home.
No,
No,
that's
this is before
later.
that. Then
That's
his friend from the construction site comes in to
Oh,
watch
right,
her
yeah,
in the
right.
room, and also Yaphet Kotto, who doesn't want to get involved, has one of his random guys. He's
Just some
always,
dude.
yeah, he's always pulling out guys.
Guard the door.
Yeah, guard the door, and that's when Gary Busey goes to take care of business.
He sets up a fucking like airplane wire across this intersection to chop off the one dude's head, the
brother.
ogre guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
pretty awesome.
It's awesome. Three guys run into it, right?
I think
Well,
we
he's
we
first.
forgot a scene.
Which one?
We do that a lot.
There's the scene we
The
forgot
plane
the
scene?
No,
No, we
No,
didn't. That's
plane-
after
not that.
Okay.
the scene where Blade talks to the sheriff, because
It's after the funeral. You're right.
yeah, because we
Because you're right.
and the sheriff's pissed. He's like, you can't be doing this public shit. Like, you got to keep it on the DL.
And then he smacks them all weird a
Yeah.
bunch.
Well, and this
Blade
This is the
keeps,
first
like-
time we hear Blade talk.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It just sounds.
It sounds like this.
I
This is my town.
He
make
barely makes
those.
out real words.
But then and this one, we finally see the back of Blade's head,
Yes.
and it looks like a hairy vagina. Like literally,
It's so
like a
good.
perfectly trimmed hairy vagina. It's even got
It looks
a little
like
slit in the middle, and it's
It's amazing.
a carved pussy
it
on his
makes
head.
no sense.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
If it wasn't meant to be a vagina, then it's
Well,
sad how much it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
You succeeded in doing something you didn't know you were doing.
Yeah. Blade just like slaps the shit out of the sheriff and then like forces him to take all this money. He's like, you just do your part, and like that's it.
So we know the sheriff is now in on
Yeah.
it. He also is getting money from them because they are running drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're selling crack, they say, but it looks
Yeah.
like
So
cocaine.
isn't that weird though that I thought okay the gang was just a bunch of like misfits that go around killing and stealing and raping,
Yeah.
but no, they're actually running drugs.
That's
on a-
because it's the 80s,
Well,
dude.
yeah,
It had to be selling
yeah.
crack.
Well, that's yeah.
Like,
yeah,
because
they're
then
running around raping and killing people. They're obviously on crack.
because then there was also that part with Yaphet Kotto. Like this all happened after the funeral. They did a lot of things right after the funeral. They go and they follow the biker gang to their base and they're looking in, and he makes the remark. He's like, "Yeah, they're selling that cheap stuff, crack." Like,
oh yeah, have we seen the base by now?
No.
you don't really see the base. You just see them driving. He's like, they have someplace back in like the
Okay,
mountains.
They don't
we haven't
know
got
where
to the
it
base
is.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back now.
Back to the wire.
We're back to the wire. He sets up the wire. 3 bikers drive into the wire. The first one gets totally decapitated, and it looks awesome.
It's ridiculous.
The
Yeah,
head just like falls off.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a mannequin. Yeah. And then the other 2 kind of just hit the wire and fall down. We guess they're dead.
Assumedly, I guess.
I assume they're dead. Right? They seem
And then
dead.
Gary Busey, like, smiles, pokes his head out from around the corner.
takes his wire and
Drives away.
Cuts the wire, dips, and then it's when
Then it cuts.
fucking
Doesn't it cut
Blade-
right into the fucking sheriff yelling at him?
No,
no,
because
Blade. Yeah,
rolls
Blade.
up on his.
Oh, right. Because
Blade rolls up on his bike, and he's like,
Oh, brother.
brother.
Yeah, he's like, basically, like he does like
You
something
can
like
barely
that.
understand this human being speak.
No. He said something.
Yeah, he's like,
He's pissed now.
yeah, he's very sad.
Yeah, but it wasn't his brother, right? Because his brother is in the later scene.
No, I think that was definitely his
No, it
brother. That
was
was another guy because the guy later on I think was smaller. Like, he looked
Okay.
like a smaller
They
guy.
all look the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how do you?
They were all very dirty. And
like, how do you even know it was
Yeah.
his brother that got decapitated? They're all wearing the same like
Bike
green,
helmet.
olive.
He's just sad that his friends got killed.
Yeah, I guess so.
I wish that he wasn't saying anything. He just... okay, so
That's when he's in the police station, and they're like, "I know you did this," and he's like, "But you can't prove it."
but the movie didn't show us him.
Him
He's
being
got
arrested.
handcuffs on.
Yeah.
The movie didn't show him being taken in, then
No.
finding the evidence of people dying on the road,
Just hard cut to
him already being arrested and being yelled at for it.
yeah, with no.
There's
proof.
all the assumptions there. Are
Yeah,
just,
and then the sheriff is just screaming at him that he's going to arrest, that he's going to send him back to prison, he's going to do all this stuff, even though we have no idea what he's going to even try and charge him with.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
He smacks him a bunch of times,
And everyone
he's
else is like,
"I have to let you go."
wouldn't everyone
I'm
else
not
be
happy
like,
about it.
Chief, as far as we know, 3 rapists are dead?
Nope, no
Well,
one says
that's
anything.
when this scene gets super weird because he's like, "Get him the fuck out of here," and Yaphet Kotto goes,
Like,
"I'll get him out of
Yeah.
here," and picks him up, and then somebody says something. He turns and he looks and he goes, "You got a problem, black man?"
Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
the
We were all
sheriff.
like,
Yeah, the sheriff
"Whoa."
says that.
Yeah, the sheriff said that, and we were all like, "What? What's
And then-
happening?"
and then-
It's like, who's asking? A white man.
And then,
Wow.
and then he's like,
Where did that come?
Where did the
from?
racism
yeah,
subplot
well, and then
come from?
the sheriff's like, yeah, you're looking at a real white man. Like,
Take a
what
good
does
look
that
at it.
mean?
Get a good look.
It's like, how do we
I
get
don't
the
understand
audience to
why
hate the
this
sheriff
happened.
more?
I know.
He's a racist.
yeah.
Kill
I
him.
did not understand why they needed that to go there.
It's weird. It was a...
He's like,
the exchange didn't... Was he so badly written, too? It's just like, what?
So,
I'm a
like-
real white man. Okay.
he's not only
What is
funneling
keeping...
drug money.
What is
like,
keeping Yaphet... What is his name? What is
I
his...
think it's Yaphet Kotto.
No,
His
his
character's
character's
name.
It's
Oh,
JB.
What is
JB,
keeping
yeah.
JB working at this town? Like, no one
Is
likes
he
him.
fully an officer?
I
He's
don't
always
even know
wearing
what he
sweatpants
is.
with an open
I get-
shirt and like head wraps.
I get the
and
impression
shit.
that the other officers like him. Like the other
Yeah.
officers seem kind of
Yeah,
like
it seems kind of everyone versus the sheriff.
yeah. Like
type
you,
of
you,
thing.
you definitely in this scene you get the impression that like the other guys are just kind of like doing their job because like the sheriff is telling them to do that they're not like really bad dudes themselves.
Oh, maybe that's wow. Because I mean, they do separate from him at some point.
Yeah.
Still was
I
weird
love-
and felt unnecessary.
God damn it. So, yeah, and then after that, he releases Gary Busey.
Tells them
Out.
again like
But I'm just saying, like, why would he let that happen? You can't just...
Is he not having
No
him
one's
followed?
No, but nobody is.
He's his parole officer. He's
Officer.
not just the sheriff.
Right.
Like, at this point, he'd be like, now I just have to follow you around, you dick, because I'm pretty sure you killed 3 people. You know what I
But
mean?
no,
But
he doesn't.
He
just
doesn't
lets
fucking do it.
He just lets him.
I'm gonna see
Yaphet Kotto-
how the chips fall, I guess. Like, do your fucking job!
Everyone is.
Not that I'm saying I want Buck to be fucked over, but it's like, you are a bad person. You need to cover your tracks.
Yeah, man.
And doing this
Be a bad
would be
person.
normally your job anyway to make sure he's not out decapitating people.
Why wouldn't the sheriff just frame him and put him in jail?
Like he did the first time.
Right, do it again before this guy fucks your whole operation up. You're a bad guy.
You're
You're a shitty bad guy.
This movie doesn't make any sense.
And no one else seems to care about protocol just not existing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, we handcuffed the guy, brought him in, and then
slapped him around and then let him
left.
go.
Whatever. Oh, by
He's
the way,
a parolee, by the
we
way.
need
there's
to
dead
write
bodies
this down?
everywhere. It doesn't matter.
There's a headless biker in the street.
Yeah, it's whatever.
That's no big deal.
It's this town.
That's
fuck this town, man.
That's when probably the most kind of shitty thing I've seen a villain do in a movie happens.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh,
Buck
yeah.
goes back home. His home now, by the way, he's taken all the
Covered in
debris from his house
is
and
when-
basically plugged all the holes in his wall with trash.
And sandbags.
He has sandbags. You know, all these sandbags, like fucking FEMA showed up and was like, we gotta help this guy out. It's nuts, but it's not condemned. Where's the fucking city official? Where'd he get those bags? Anyway, all right.
This is right.
so good.
This is the part of the movie that made me so excited. I know it's sick, but it made me so excited because I was like, man, this is where it happens. This is when the movie starts. You know?
Sort of.
An
I felt
hour
like
in.
that-
Yeah, an hour in, I thought when you see what's happening, you're like, this is it.
Damn.
We're here. We've arrived.
So, like,
No, he's still gonna drive around and talk to people.
No.
It'll be
yeah,
boring.
Buck's at home, like taking a rest after decapitating people.
Why he would sleep at that house?
Yeah.
They know where he lives.
Hey man, he's got nothing left
Live
to lose.
Somewhere.
Except his daughter.
That's not there. So the biker gang drives
Shows
over the
up.
hill, dust a cloud around them, and guess what they're dragging behind them?
The exhumed coffin of his wife. So shitty, dude. It's amazing. That's it. Fuck him. Dig up his wife. Make him rebury her alone. Like Jesus Christ.
And
He comes
Yeah,
out of
it's
the house
not-
and he's just like, "Fuck, shit."
like instead of just
Shit,
going,
no,
I
instead of just,
love that they don't like talk to her; they
Yeah,
just
they
like
just
drop
leave
it
it.
off.
well, and instead of just, I mean,
Hey,
these
bitch! Remember? Like,
these guys are bad guys too, because they could just gone in and killed him.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's totally exposed at this
Yeah,
point.
but they were like, no, here's your dead wife.
dude, I'm pretty
fun.
sure you could see him lying on the couch from the front yard.
Oh yeah.
No,
It
by this
shouldn't-
point he had the sandbags. He had
maybe.
some sort of cover, I think.
You could have pushed him over and shot him.
Yeah.
It's-
You just pushed on that house. and
it just falls over. He comes out and he does a whole like,
Oh, he
smells
sits on
bad.
the fence.
It's like it was like Paul Rubens and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I felt like you were supposed to, I guess he was like debating on whether he should open it just to make sure. Like
Dude,
maybe
that'd be
they just
amazing.
dropped off some
No,
random
man,
dead
that would have made it
person.
amazing if he did it like, who's this? And then he opened the oh,
Could it be? Damn it! Pussy head!
Blade! Oh yeah, Pussyhead. Sorry.
Played the pussy.
They never say his name.
No, not
Not even
once.
not a henchman, not the
Also,
sheriff.
he doesn't
nobody.
really use blades.
You know what?
He doesn't introduce himself.
I'm saying, in their defense, I didn't. In my movie, I didn't say my lead character's name either. So,
There you go.
and his name is definitely in the credits.
It's like Fight Club. They're just all narrators.
It happens.
Yeah, and so he's really sad. Then it's him on the side of the road digging a hole.
He's
Yeah.
digging a new
And
grave
then-
for his wife just on the side of a road.
A road,
Any
not
road.
near his house.
Or
Yeah.
back at the goddamn
Yeah.
hole they dug it out of. Just put it back. There's already a hole there.
It's
They
a
clearly dug
cemetery.
it up.
It's a cemetery.
They
You
didn't
can.
teleport it out of 6 feet of dirt.
And then Skinny Cop shows up. That's the only way I can describe him because his name is never like
yeah,
said once.
Skinny Cop.
Skinny Cop with mustache shows up.
It's
and,
probably like Jeb or something.
yeah, and he's like, I think he's like, you need to get out of town. He's like, I'm gonna bury my wife. And
that
then
shotgun's
The shotgun's a parole violation.
yeah.
That's
Take
what
it
he's
from
like.
me. Take it
Do
from
it.
me.
Arrest me for it. I dare you.
And he's like,
I'm
no,
not
man.
gonna do that.
He's like, we're cool.
So he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and then he finishes burying his wife on a road.
Next to
It's
some
a-
tree. Like,
yeah, it
and-
wasn't.
And this is when I think Yaphet Kotto really starts getting involved, right? When he's like,
Then he goes to visit him at
Is this the plane?
the plane sequence.
Yeah.
He's out
He's
of
like
the
fixing a
blue.
plane.
Yaphet Kotto is working on a plane.
listening to James Brown.
Listen
Listen
to
to James Brown on a plane after the gruesome scene of his wife being exhumed.
He's having
And
a
they
great
have
time.
the conversation where he's trying to get his help, right? It's
Yeah.
him like
Yeah.
come
And he's like,
help
"No."
me. This is they
Wait,
all
I
the
think
ultimate insult.
I think-
Oh, it's been an
good
hour.
Lord
We gotta
alive.
go. We're almost there though.
I feel like he visited
I
his
feel like we're
daughter
almost
again
there.
before then.
No,
before he
no,
went to-
there was no other daughter scene.
No, because there was the whole point where we were all where it was like, why did they not show his daughter start talking again and be able to like respond? Because it just shows him in there being like, all right, honey, I'm gonna leave you here with this filthy man in a jumpsuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
I think
Yeah.
that's when this happens, right?
Well, he goes to talk to Yaphet Kotto at the plane, and then he goes back to the hospital, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Then he takes the
Because
nurse home.
That's when he takes the nurse home because he leaves his
And they
daughter
have that
with the
conversation.
jumpsuit guy.
Right,
and
they
then
have
he's
a
like-
conversation on the porch.
He literally
of her
goes,
house.
"Hey, look, I just wanted to let you know my daughter's gonna be okay and she's feeling better.
Well, don't
You want
they?
to ride home?" And then
Well, don't they do the lasso thing before that? Because that other guy has to get into the hospital before the daughter thing happens. Because that's
Yes,
what.
you're right.
oh, you're right.
Him and Yaphet Kotto do lasso a dude.
Yeah.
Because we
Oh, but
thought
that's where he throws the guy on a bomb. Apparently, in that one,
Yes.
like there's a
Yeah.
guy on top of the car and he like breaks and flies off into a ditch, but somehow explodes.
it's like in the middle of the movie they have the part of the movie that should have had the third act start,
Yeah.
but it doesn't start the third
Nope.
act. It's just like for a moment we're gonna get mad and then we're gonna stop being mad.
Yeah, and then he stops. I mean,
That's why I told you I feel like it was out of order edited.
yeah, maybe.
Because you're right. They get a dude from the gang who is like a crazy rapist dude.
And they catch him by lassoing his neck, but
Yeah.
now that he's in the hospital, he can't talk because his trachea is
He's
yeah,
crushed.
and
So he's in,
tied
know
to the
that he's
bed.
in the hospital.
So-
This is also the scene where the preacher's like, there again and starts screaming at the sheriff, being
Yeah.
like, "We all know you're crooked.
Yeah,
you
you're
son
gonna-
of a bitch.
you're gonna have to
Like,
shoot him."
All
Like, who
this
are
crazy
you?
shit.
Why
Like,
are you
what?
doing this? Okay. So then we're back. Okay, cutting back to the him on the porch with the nurse.
Yeah, she convinces him to come to on the porch for like tea or coffee.
It was
or
a
something.
beer. I think they're
Was it
having a beer.
Another beer. They drink a lot of beer in this movie.
Then she gets a phone call
Yeah.
because
She starts giving him a
Intercut with
back
this
rub.
scene.
We all thought they were gonna fuck.
no intercut with this scene is the biker gang raiding the hospital.
Killing his friend in the jumpsuit.
His friend in the jumpsuit.
Killing the guy that was guarding the
and
door.
kidnapping the daughter.
Yeah. For some reason, they leave their comrade there, though. Their brother in
I
arms.
thought they were getting him out of the
No.
hospital.
No,
They
they
leave
leave
him
him
there.
there.
They just leave him there.
She gets a
But
call.
yeah, they call the nurse at her.
at
Someone,
her house.
Yeah.
Someone.
someone calls the nurse
One
at
of,
her
like,
home to be
60
like, "Hey,
nurses
tell
at this
Buck
hospital."
his daughter got kidnapped."
Yeah, and everyone's dead.
Like,
Not
who
that-
was that person? How would they know that he was still there?
So what?
Or
do-
where he went at all? All he did was like, "I gotta go do some
So
stuff."
what does Buck do? He goes to the hospital, puts on
A doctor's
yeah,
mask.
a doctor's
To
jacket
sneak by
mask.
the
Yeah,
sheriff.
he sneaks by the sheriff, goes into the guy's room that they lasted earlier, Vaselines up a stick of dynamite, shoves it in the guy's butt,
Which is awesome. And then
Yeah.
this happens.
Amazing.
and
Lights it.
lights this like fucking like
He's like, you got
3
45
foot,
seconds to write down
yeah
where I can find them. Basically, the address of the compound.
yeah,
Yeah, he wants to find his daughter.
and the guy. The
Does
guy
it.
the guy does it, and then Buck just leaves him there,
And the fuse keeps burning.
and you see the guy's heart rate going up the entire time.
Well, he
and
has
the-
he has a trachea injury, so he can't breathe right.
Yeah. And then the guy just dies. Like he has like
He
a
has
heart attack, yeah, and dies. And then the fuse ends and you see that the thing was a dud and this guy's just stuck there dead with this fucking dynamite sticking out of his ass.
It's pretty
I
great.
mean, it was pretty cool.
One of the best parts of the movie,
yeah.
easily. Yeah.
His nurse is gonna have a tough time with that one.
Right.
well, and then okay, so
But then he walks right in front of the sheriff
Yeah.
without the mask on after he murdered someone.
yeah, Buck makes all this effort to sneak by in the first place, and then afterwards it's like fuck it.
Also, it's a hospital. Is there not more than one door to leave?
right?
Hospitals always have like 60 doors. Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, the sheriff yells a lot more, and then this is also when the priest like steps in front and was like, "You're gonna have to shoot me too," and then so he leaves.
He gets away. He runs off. That's when he gets into his super truck.
And then he
That's when Eye of the Tiger starts playing, right?
Yeah, because he sets up.
Well, he gets back in his car, and
Yaphet Kotto's already sitting in
Yeah.
the car.
and he's like, "I know you got a plan, right?" And that's when Eye of the Tiger starts.
Dude, it felt like shit was gonna go down so hard at that point. Man,
It still doesn't.
He bugs it.
This movie's blue balls like crazy.
it's insane.
He bugs his old truck, the one that he like launched off of like
Yeah.
a bunch of shit.
That's still
and
running
like-
somehow.
Yeah.
This
And
old
he
trusty
bugs up,
truck.
and a bunch of bikers come to that, and then that blows up.
He blows them up.
But you don't really know if they're
they're
actually
dead or
dead
not.
because they really just kind of like fly back like 3 feet. None
I
of
think
them-
that was part of before he lassos the guy.
was
No,
it?
Because
no,
at
that
this
was-
point, it's just they go fuck shit up immediately, right?
No, well, because I
Oh, fuck.
Because Yaphet Kotto's got to get in the
In the
airplane.
plane.
yeah, then because he does that, blows those guys up, and then it goes into them actually going to the compound, I believe.
Well, we see the compound in full at this point,
Yeah.
which
Right.
is like a full working
Yeah.
compound.
They
It
got
has
like
like
a-
a
They go and, like,
stadium.
check
It
it.
has
Yeah.
a fucking beautiful rock like stage for like a rock concert.
Yeah, man, this place is
It's
cool.
got tents. It's like an
It
army
was pretty
base.
cool.
It's like Meriwether Post Pavilion.
And you look at it and you're like, why do they need to leave this?
Yeah,
place?
like
Just
they
sell
have their
drugs
own,
from
like,
here.
Stop going
mini
over there
city.
and making trouble.
Just-
Just
yeah.
stay here.
No
Stay in
one's
this
fucking
compound.
with you. You obviously were allowed to build all of this shit.
Just
So-
enjoy life right
Yeah.
here.
Not good enough.
You're right.
Not good
So-
enough. You gotta expand.
They start advancing on the compound. Gary Busey's driving, and
Yeah, when did he go get a plane?
well, he had the plane. He
I
was
feel like we're
working on
missing
it earlier.
something.
There has to be something in between that.
And like I said, this movie is disjointed. In like, there's giant chunks of the movie that they edited before other chunks that weren't supposed to be.
Yeah,
That's why it's so disjointed, because it feels like here's the rev up to the third act, and then it cuts right back down again. You know?
No, because they gotta go. They gotta go because I don't know. Because the next time you see the sheriff is when he's got the barricade when they're coming back from.
yeah. Well, that's
Having the
that's
girl.
after they've.
Yeah,
done all the-
This is when
So
they
I think this has to be when they go and get the plane and everything.
Like what?
Yeah, the plan is that he's gonna
And he's gonna drive through everything like.
and
a
then
lunatic,
Yaphet Kotto just kind of runs away to get the plane.
Yeah, and then the next time you see Yaphet, he's got
Dude, it's awesome. That's
full like 1940s fighter pilot regalia,
With a
like
huge
the
scarf and the
goggles.
goggles.
Yeah.
dude. I mean, like it's intercut between, and the music literally cuts between this. It's got the raid music.
Yeah, the serious music.
With Gary Busey raiding a compound, driving over shit through shit, out of the back of the truck. He's
Shooting
got
people with-
bazookas out of the back, just like blowing shit up,
Yeah.
and then it cuts hard to that James Brown song from
And
before.
Yamaka's, he's
Looks like,
literally
he looks like Charlie Brown in his plane.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah.
like he's literally like dancing at there are certain points where his hands are like in the
not
air.
even flying. And he's lighting dynamite and
And
throwing
just
it
throwing it
over.
blowing people up
Wow,
with
like,
dynamite.
It's just so the
getting
tone.
down,
They
dude.
literally cut the music between them.
It's awesome.
It's nuts.
One guy's fighting to save his daughter. The other one's just throwing dynamite out of a plane.
He didn't want to be involved.
And then
I could take it or leave it.
and then at this point after Yaphet Kotto uses all I keep going back and forth. I'm calling him Kotto, whatever.
I think it's Kotto.
all right, Kotto.
Kotto. I don't know.
His plane gets shot at some point in this, and he's like, "I'm going in," and he still manages to squeeze in a little like dance.
He's
as,
like screaming about how he's crashing, and he just
Yeah.
starts dancing to James Brown even more.
It's great.
yeah, and then
He lands, gets out, hops in the truck.
we forgot to mention that we see a big feature on the truck during this scene that the whole like ass of the truck turns into like bazookas and machine guns.
And it can aim. It's like
Yeah.
a homing missile.
Yeah,
apparently.
like Gary Busey's just like driving through willy nilly,
but
and
he's
somehow,
hitting people on
like,
fucking
yeah.
point.
And
No, yeah, I'm telling you, man, he's trained in car fighting. I don't know where he learned to do it.
It's like Equilibrium with the gun foo, but it's just car foo.
Yeah.
the whole time Blade's on the main stage, just like watching all this, going like,
Yeah,
like,
right.
And Yaphet Kotto gets out of the the plane's.
Before that, he gets his daughter before he saves Yaphet Kotto.
Because he runs up, because he pulls up and he's running up there while everyone's shooting at him, and then Blade is
goes,
like,
stop shooting, and like Gary Busey kicks open that gate. It looked fucking bad as shit. He was like, boom, and the whole motherfucking thing exploded.
Here's my daughter.
Yeah.
And but then Blade goes, you and me 1-on-1, and he just like saves his daughter, like, and then ignores him, and then he goes, fuck, he's getting away, shoot him again. What did he expect him to do? He really thought he was gonna go, yeah, I'm going to take a break and fight you one-on-one and hand-to-hand.
The reason this feels so disjointed is because he leaves the compound.
Yeah, they leave the fight.
This is not the end fight scene of the movie.
No.
And the end fight scene of the movie happens here.
That's the first time Gary Busey and Blade had been more than 50 feet from each other.
Yeah, really.
And he leaves.
Yeah.
Yaphet Kotto lands his plane.
Hops in the back of the truck.
Yeah, does a tuck and roll after it's already stopped. Like, you didn't need to do that. Yeah, gets in, they go to the police barricade, and Gary Busey gets out, hands his child off somebody, and immediately just starts beating the shit out of the sheriff.
Well, the sheriff goes, everybody arrest him now. And
they don't
like,
listen to him.
No, we're not going to do that. He just saved his daughter. Dude's kind of fucking badass.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, do it now. And then Gary Busey, this is when Yaphet Kotto's like, don't do it. I know you want to, but don't do it. And then he fucking kicks the sheriff in the dick, and he's like, yeah. It's like, dude, you just said not to do that. Why? I don't know, but you did.
Yaphet Kotto's character is amazing. It's so good.
So then he handcuffs the sheriff and puts him in the truck, and then he goes, all right, you take care of my daughter. I'm going to go deliver the garbage. And I don't understand why the end of the movie is the end of the movie.
Is the sheriff the garbage? Yeah.
Why did he take the sheriff to go back to Blade?
Yeah.
Dude, but it's amazing.
Why did he give Blade time to regroup? He fucked him up so bad. There was a huge camp. He decimated it.
He drives into the compound with the sheriff in the supercar,
and now they have like mortars and bombs and shit.
They're shooting the shit out of this car to the point where it is on fire.
The door flung off.
The door's off. It is a mess. So he drives it up on a hill, and it crashes like at the top of the hill, and he dives out while
the sheriff's like, please don't leave me. And then it
like, was that part of Gary Busey's plan?
Yeah, what was he going to do with them except explode him? Like, what was
he planning to do?
Look, I got your buddy. And he's like, I don't care about him. I pay him money now. And
fuck him. I kill people all the time. I wish I didn't have to pay him.
He killed my one liability.
Yeah.
The whole end of this movie is people making really poor decisions.
Yeah, and then it's just Blade like saying, "No, it's just us.
Yeah, we're gonna fight.
It's me and you, bitch."
Yeah, and they start fighting. Like the remaining bikers are like surrounding them, just watching them.
They fight. They fight.
Gary Busey gets a gun or shotgun.
Yeah,
and then the Blade's like, "You better shoot me in my head or my heart,
dude." But wait,
anywhere else?
Yeah. Oh, here.
Yeah, he's
otherwise. What do you say?
Like, I'm gonna make you. Yeah, he's gonna make you die slow.
And what is the way he said? Here, here. It's so
Mind you,
good.
he's pointing to his head and then his heart.
And then Gary Busey shoots the gun in the air, throws it in, and says, "Let's go."
Also at this time,
but that's
Yaphet Kotto reappears with 4 random dudes.
4 random black dudes in a Jeep. Who is this man?
All got guns.
Yeah,
it's like a colorful red Jeep with 2, which I found. Like, it's like a beach Jeep. Like, where are you coming from, man?
But then also police officers arrive, which he is one of, but for some reason he gets to live like that.
Yeah.
Like he flies old-ass planes.
I don't see why he was so pissed at the sheriff, because obviously he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants
I know, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's not obeying the law whatsoever.
No, not at all.
For a guy to be so cautious, like, I don't want to get involved, and then he just does whatever he wants.
This has one of the coolest defeats that I've seen in some time.
It's pretty badly executed, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Like literally,
he basically punches Gary Busey into like the coke house.
Yeah. Which I thought Gary Busey crashed through earlier, but I suppose they have multiple.
They have multiple ones, and then Gary Busey slams Blade's head down into cocaine, and then
it's like shoveling it into his
face. It's like a mountain.
It's not. Up until this point, the drug part of the movie has been so nothing.
And it only been mentioned. Like, you
Yeah.
haven't watched anyone do any drugs.
It wasn't like he was corrupting the youth of the town with drugs or
just
anything.
like
They're
making drugs out there.
purely exporting.
Oh, fuck. That's what happened. God damn it. That's what happened when Yaphet Kotto got the fucking plane. I just called him Yaphet Kotto. When he went to get the plane, Gary Busey went to the bingo hall.
Oh, shit.
Which is just all these old ass people playing bingo who probably have no fucking clue what's going on in this town. And he runs in and he goes, "How can you live like this?" And they're just like, what
He does
the
a whole
fuck
speech
is
about how he
going
didn't go to Vietnam for America or like
He went for
patriotism.
this town.
Yeah, he went for this
now
town.
who's with me? And then one dude is like,
He
He looks
he thinks, yeah, and then like, yeah, he
I
just.
mean, he made the right decision.
Oh, absolutely.
He completely dead by now.
There's definitely like a 6-second close up on this guy.
like he's gonna make the right decision, and
Yeah, I
then
thought
more
he was
people
gonna
are gonna go.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, and then they all get up.
No,
and
like it'll be the end of Three Amigos or something. Like we're in this together.
He was the only person under the age of 70 in that
Dude,
room.
you know
dude.
that scene that we missed that we're bringing come back.
Yeah.
That makes this movie really terrible because the town doesn't stand up for itself.
care. No, the town
They're a bunch
sucks.
of weak
They were waiting
shit.
on
The
063, dude.
The town in the script that you had the main character defending with everything he has.
Every time
Like,
somebody's
it's a
like, "Why are you
pile
doing
of
this?" He's like,
garbage.
"This is
he
my home."
loves this town.
For what reason? They hate him and they hate themselves.
Yeah, does
This-
anyone
this
else
is
love
like-
this town? The
No.
sheriff.
This is like a mini Gotham City.
Yeah,
like,
it really is. They don't care at all. Like
no
I
appreciation.
would love it if somebody was like, "We're actually playing bingo." Like,
And he's like,
Who let you in?
yeah.
all I need
Did
is
you buy a card? 'Cause
I just
otherwise
need
you shut the
016.
fuck
Or
up.
somebody's just like, "Who's he?" Like they don't know.
Who is that guy?
Some dude. Because there's got to be people that have no clue about any of this, you know?
Yeah.
They don't leave their houses enough to, like, see the biker gang driving up and down the streets. They're just like, what? There's a biker gang.
I
What?
had no idea.
I have an apple orchard. I don't know what you're
I
talking
keep to
about.
my own.
Yeah.
I mind my business.
Yeah, so just know that the town has not been implicitly involved either way in any of this. They didn't defend their own town. They didn't save it. They didn't stop it.
It's definitely just like an extreme example of the bystander like syndrome, where
Yeah.
they're just they did nothing.
They did literally nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, he
Yeah.
shoves Blade's head into a bunch of cocaine and then shoves all the cocaine in his mouth.
and then he's going,
Yeah.
And then he spits out a bunch of cocaine from his
Yeah.
mouth and falls over and dies. He
I
kills him
guess.
with fucking cocaine.
He
Yes.
might die. I mean,
It did.
and-
It wasn't very. I mean, much like everything else in the movie, it wasn't explicitly said.
and then
Or shown.
he wanders out of like the crack hut, and just like kind of gives everyone like nods, and like everyone like has a reassuring nod to each other, like him and Yaphet Kotto
did
make
it.
eye contact, like yeah, fuck yeah.
I was
And-
kind of hoping for a Predator handshake. Like, they're just like yeah, and then
Like,
would
yeah.
freeze frame on it.
Me
Because it
too.
felt like it was a
Yeah.
buddy comedy at that point.
But the thing is that they do a real like kind of like Road Warrior-esque ending where the remaining bikers, like after their boss is dead,
The
just like
leftovers.
yeah, they just like drive off. But the thing is, in the Road Warrior, there wasn't the whole fucking police department there too to like apprehend these people.
In the Road Warrior, there wasn't a society.
Yes.
They're still in America in
There
like
is a scene where he tries calling someone on the phone.
Yeah, and
And he's like, I'm telling you, it's the sheriff that's doing it. That's why I'm calling you.
And
God
nobody-
damn it. And he like
nobody's
hangs
listening.
up.
I'm a good man. I did my time.
But the leftover bikers just leave.
Yeah, and they let him, and like Gary Busey all smiles about it when like you don't know,
Dude,
if
they
any
were
number of these-
implicit in killing your
Yeah,
family. Like he wasn't just Blade.
yeah, like Blade might not even have actually done any of it. Like he might just send all his goons in to like really do all the real dirty work. Like, 'cause if you look at like most of the attacks, like Blade just kind of sits back. Like
That's what I'm saying. Some of the men that got away could have had their hands on his wife.
Yeah, biker
Yeah.
number 14 was probably the guy you really should have
Who
killed.
like broke her neck or
Yeah.
whatever happened. You know, like, yeah,
Who
it
knows what the fuck
happened. Who knows? Then
was
it has the
just
wide
dead.
shot after they leave in freeze frames,
And
and Eye of the Tiger
yep.
starts saying
For the third
a
time.
Scotty Brothers movie.
Sky Brothers Productions.
This is a movie made by a record company that had two popular songs.
And they played both of them
I mean-
3 times.
There's
Yeah.
no reason for this to be called Eye of the Tiger.
That James Brown song was
None.
the same James Brown song every time, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it would have been great if they would have used Living in America from Rocky 4.
Because that way it'd be all Rocky soundtrack
would've made it.
movies.
That would have
But-
been pretty cool.
Just use the Rocky theme. It doesn't even
Yeah.
matter. Yeah. What a weird choice.
It was a very weird movie.
Would you guys recommend people watch it?
Oh yeah, I would.
I
It's
think
not bad.
I think I would. There's a lot of really weird shit in it.
It's. I
I,
mean,
for one, really like the way
it's
it
awful.
opened. I thought that
I
was.
mean, yeah.
I thought
There's
that was
cool
awesome.
scenes in it. I don't know. It's really boring and it keeps giving you hope and then taking it away.
It's like a
immediately.
hand job that gets fast and then stops, and
Yeah.
fast and then stops.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fucking jerk off denial, dude.
Yeah, it's like okay, they dug up my
oh,
wife.
he's got a car with a bunch of buttons and rockets and shit. That's probably gonna
And
talk.
then- and then-
No,
and then-
he
and then-
just drives
No.
around
And then
and
you finally do.
decapitates
You
people
finally
with a
do
wire.
finish, and you're like, oh, it was okay. It felt kind of good. Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of killing someone with crack.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's very like Nancy Reagan.
The dynamite up the ass is good. There's good
Yeah.
stuff in it.
Well, I love they had the shot of him like taking the time to put like that
That
giant
is-
glob. Like it was like it's like
Oh,
he's-
it's a dollop.
yeah. I mean, it was like he stuck the dynamite in the container, was just like shaking it around, really,
No, he got it in there good.
really gooping that thing up for that butt.
You got it in there deep.
Yeah.
It's definitely this. Let's just say this is a great action DVD pack.
Oh, yeah.
This goes with Cyclone and Alienator very well. Whoever
Yeah.
put this pack together so far.
Yeah, it had the
And it's-
unexplained, unnecessary racism of
Yeah.
Alienator and the boring yet action-packed
And it had
pace issues
of Cyclone, and it also had a vehicle that we were
Didn't really
promised
do
was going to
shit.
be amazing and wasn't. So
Yeah, like so many buttons that weren't pressed.
There was God,
a joystick.
so
Yeah,
many
joysticks,
He
levers.
did use the joystick.
Well, for what?
For firing backwards at things he
Oh,
couldn't
dude,
see.
yeah,
because
there's
he
a
was
certain
like,
point where there's a
"Back."
lot of shit just flying out of that truck.
Yeah, there were like two
Yeah.
cannons on the sides. There was cannons and guns on the back. There had to be guns on the front because there was a point where those people got shot against the fence as he drove at them. But I never saw a gun on the front of the car.
There was machine guns on the front of the car.
Where
Yeah, there were. Yeah,
It
there was.
It
There was.
It was like a twisted metal vehicle.
Yeah,
like
pretty much. Yeah.
I
I'm
gotta
surprised you
assume.
didn't shoot like an ice ball at someone.
I also. I'm gonna assume the tires were like solid rubber because they got. To shoot those
They had
out
to
would
have
be
been,
so
yeah.
easy.
They were
Yeah.
giant. It was.
Well, I mean,
lazy
Yeah.
chassis. Yeah.
well, it's like there's one section of the movie where the truck is indestructible, and then suddenly when he's bringing the sheriff back, yeah, this car
It's
is
only so-so.
It's tinfoil. But,
Well, either way, it's got great shit in it.
yeah.
It's of its time, like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And if you want to see Gary Busey not be insane, that's the thing. Like
Yeah,
when
he
I
never
thought we were
loses
gonna watch
his
this, I
cool.
thought we were gonna see Gary Busey like go like Nick
No,
Cage nuts.
this is like top form Gary Busey.
No, he is still a sane, normal human being at this point.
Yeah.
Like in his life, because he is so subdued.
He never loses his cool.
No, no, there's no like mouth stuff. You know what I mean? It's none of that.
No
No
ripping out.
direct TV.
No
commercial
threatening to rip
stuff.
out people's endocrine systems.
Right, right. There's no lectures about why the Earth is older than the sun or anything like that. It's some weird shit that he
Going on
does.
celebrity rehab and
Dude, can
believing that you're one of the therapists. You're there to help people. When you, oh god,
Can there be
I
a show
love
where
him.
it's him and Dennis Quaid driving around?
You mean
Randy
Randy-
Quaid, him and Randy Quaid just driving across the country.
with,
be a pretty
with
Oh my
like,
God.
with
That'd be a
old
great
ass
TV show.
Yaphet Kotto in the back seat, just like
Hanging out.
I'm sure whoever made Steven Seagal Lawman could make that show. Just go ahead. All right, John. Thanks for watching Eye of the Tiger with us.
oh, it was a pleasure.
and
loved
just
it.
anyone listening, just so you know, we actually Thunder Grunt is now, as it was, dead, but it is alive again, and it's mine. It's we moved to Podbean, and Thunder Grunt is now consists of anything I do. So right now it's Bonus Disc and Mount of Thunder, and a lot of the other shows that were on Thunder Grunt moved to Podbean too. But you can find us under Thunder Grunt on iTunes if you have to resubscribe, which you shouldn't have to. But
It's the same name.
it should be this. It's a different name. It's the Bonus Disc feed.
Okay.
So if you were subscribed to Bonus Disc, you should still be subscribed. It's just called Thunder Grunt now. So do with that as you will. Thanks.
Thank you. I love you.
We love you too. Goodbye.
You have just listened to Bonus Disc. Questions, comments, and movie suggestions can be posted to facebook.com/bonusdisc. Opinions and criticisms of the hosts and guests of Bonus Disc are 100% valid because they sit high atop Judgment Mountain. So quit your whining.